Hey everyone, I hope you're all staying safe. If not, well, why not? What is wrong with you? There are so many times in life when tragedy just cannot be predicted or avoided. Earthquakes, tsunamis, car accidents. That damned Cars for Kids song coming on right in the middle of a turn when you can't take your hand off the wheel immediately to change the station. But this one is simple. Just sit your ass down and watch some Netflix. Stay home and binge. Make love. Play Cards Against Humanity. Then just wash your hands frequently and, for Dawkins' sake, stop touching your face. Okay, I've always said that believers, for the most part, aren't really believers. They're largely hopers or wanters. They hope there's a God, and they want there to be a God, but for the life of me, I cannot understand why anyone would want the tribal war God of Abraham to exist. Of course, there are people who love Celine Dion. They buy her albums and go to her concerts, so you figure it out. In times like this, when the shit is really hitting the fan, people's beliefs are put to the test, hanging out there for everyone to see. Anyone can say that they believe anything. But people's actions don't lie in times like this. Last time, I mentioned church parking lots being empty on Sundays. This week, we got this. Yep. Mormon missionaries being called home from all over the world. These are people whose scriptures, in which they claim absolute belief, promise them protection from the bite of venomous snakes and drinking poison. They promise believers that they will have the ability to do greater works than Jesus did. So raising the dead is completely on the table. But a virus? And I'm not talking about these kids who've been sent all over the world to peddle this nonsense. They're forgiven for not staying out there, obviously. The leadership of the Mormon Church, however, claims to have a prophet with a direct link to God Almighty, who apparently never thought to say anything about this coming pandemic. He's never really been the type to give us a heads up, has he? If these leaders were actually communing with the divine, believed in their scriptures, and felt that they could genuinely trust that their God would look out for those doing his work, these kids would remain out in the field lying to people about the origins of the Native Americans, or Joseph Smith's insatiable desire for more and more wives. That's a whole nother kind of hoarding, by the way, and one that should not be encouraged. What do you really believe? Real belief in the most extreme situations sometimes requires us to put our lives on the line. The astronauts who put their asses on top of a rocket and landed on the moon proved their faith, for lack of a better word, in science and engineering. We all put our faith in science every time we get on a plane or in a car. It's science which makes such possibilities trustworthy. Clearly unworthy of our trust, our faith, are religious leaders, scriptures, and people who make outrageous claims based on their supposed connection to some all-knowing, all-loving, all-powerful super being. And it's not just me saying that this time. I don't have to say a word. The evidence is right there for all to see.